Hey there, secular friends and family. I've noticed a trend happening at local school board meetings. There seems to be a strategy of invite all the lawsuits or file frivolous lawsuits. I want to talk a little bit about what's happening in Peoria Unified School District. This past meeting, we saw a couple of school board members recently elected who basically caved to public comment from two parents from the district, making accusations about teachers and saying their names. The two board members decided to try to pull their names from a long list of teachers under a consent agenda item that would renew their contracts for the next school year. The fact that these school board members actually listened to the complaints of two parents in the entire district, ignored the fact that HR had already addressed whatever was going on, or if they had been upfront and talked about the fact that one of the people that was targeted was a trans teacher. I think that this is a huge overreach, and the first thing I thought was, I sure hope that this district has a good defamation attorney, because there will be lawsuits at some point. Ultimately, all teachers' contracts got renewed. They also tried to block the hiring of an internal hiring for a new special ed director. This person, I'm sure, went through several steps to get to this spot and probably had several other candidates that they were vying to get this position. And so the fact that they tried to block that, based again on one parent citing one example of employee misconduct, is an absolute breach of good boardsmanship. And that one also could probably open them up to some kind of lawsuit. Another thing that's been going on in Peoria is that one of the board members insists on opening every single board member comment, with a Bible scripture. Despite the fact that this is a violation of their oath to the Constitution and a direct violation of the Establishment Clause, this behavior continues. At the last board meeting, the president did gavel this particular board member, but I would just about guarantee that when these folks come back for their April meeting, you'll see some more of that. Another thing that's been going on is the demonization of the superintendent, which is a common thread that's happening with some of these Christo-fascist board members coming on. It seems as though they want to bankrupt school districts. Now that they've made it onto the board, if a lawsuit does come in, it is directed at the board and ultimately the district. And so who ends up paying for that? You guessed it, the taxpayers. So if you don't see why it's so important for us to engage at every level of government, including our school boards, hopefully I've provided you with some examples. And if you're interested in getting involved, we have lots of opportunities. There are 58 school districts in Maricopa County alone and around 300 in the entire state of Arizona. And we're seeing these folks starting to dismantle our public schools from within. This is the end of public education unless we get all hands on deck. Thanks for listening.